Hello friends, welcome back to another video with me. I have missed all of you. My name is Cotton Candy Doll. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome all. Say that first. I did bake a big move, so I'm not at my normal environment. As you guys can see, my wall is a little bit plain behind me. I'm so sorry for that. However, sorry, not sorry. Had to do it. You might hear some noises in the background. You're not going to hear any more insanely happy laughter because I'm no longer there. Yeah, I know, it's kind of sad. So I'm gonna tell you guys what happened when I went back to my hero. Also, I don't know if I really addressed my new move with you guys. I talked about it. I know I talked about it for sure in my Frodo and me time video, but I'm not sure if I actually like addressed that I will be moving. So that's why you guys have not seen me in a few weeks. I've been just really busy. I'm still getting settled in, but I wanted to do a video and kind of update you guys because a lot has actually been happening. And I want to make sure I don't leave anything out. That way you guys are kind of caught up in, that way you kind of know what's going on. I feel like I almost got a slouch to talk to you guys. Sorry. What's up with my dress? What is up with my dress? See, I hate how I have to sit down. I still don't really have any furniture, so all right. There's a huge problem I'm having right now in my hero. And I've been going there not really as often, but I've still been going on a regular basis every week to see at least one of them, or to see, just see Frodo. And I sort of have to pick and choose now. That looks like it's going to fall. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that, guys. I hope that's a little bit better. And I hope this video is actually recording. Okay, yes, I can see it is recording. So when I went back to my hero, first off, let me kind of like give you guys an insight of what's going on. Right now, Keigo's mad at me. Toshinori is like furious, and the whole situation with Fatgum, it kind of like ran off the rails, and so honestly, me and him will just never be friends. It's just not gonna happen. Like the only reason I deal with you is because Frodo and you would have to build bond. He seems to really like him for some reason. I don't know why. Um, but now because of what's happened, you know, oh, it's this whole thing, guys. And then there's Madara with the whole mind thing. Now, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I will kind of tell you guys that I'm kind of in a situation now because I'm being blackmailed by Madara, and it's really is Fatgum's fault. Um, but it's kind of like I can't say anything. It's one of those situations where I can't really speak about it. Otherwise, I put myself into hot water. So I'm just gonna kind of let things ride out. And so yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't want to spoil too much, but you guys know that sometimes when I can't travel somewhere, I want to see Frodo. So I'll like look into places. And sometimes when you're trying to look into places, you can't always see what you want. Sometimes, sometimes you're not able to see. Sometimes you may venture off somewhere you're not supposed to. I did not know Madara was still out there. That was months ago, guys. You remember how many months ago it was when I almost got murked? And then that other time when he came back on some bull? Yeah. Just, I didn't know he was lurking in the background. Okay, I did not know that. I thought he was gone. And to have him just suddenly pop up out like that, just, and the way that it happened. So I'll start from the beginning. I'll tell you guys what happened before I start. Like I said, I think you better get your drinks. You better get your snacks. Um, this is not really, well, it might be cringy, but at the same time, I don't really know. But I want to know what your opinion is on this whole thing because I feel like it's just messed up, the whole thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys what happened. So I shipped it back to my hero, and this was like 2 weeks ago. Okay, so an array of things have been happening over a time. Just because I did my move and I was moving doesn't mean I don't shift. I just don't have time to do a video and set it up and do all that. Do my thumbnail and talk to you about talk to you guys about it, even though my thumbnails suck. Okay. Um, yes, my thumbnails do suck, and I had someone tell me that one time. They didn't say the thumbnails sucked, but basically, this was like earlier on, but it didn't get better. It never got better. So, anyway, shout outs to you if you're still there. Like, I appreciate any type of feedback, even if it's bad, because people are allowed to have an opinion, and a lot of people get mixed up with like that sort of thing. Anyway, back to the subject. So, um, I shifted back to my hero, and I was hanging out with Toshinori. We had our regular date and everything. Everything went fine. And then I asked Toshinori, "Do you think we could stop by and see Frodo?" Toshinori says, "Well, he's not with his dad right now." And I said, "Well, is he with Endeavor?" He said, "He's with Fat Gun." I said, "That's fine." He goes, "Fat Gun's been keeping him a lot." He said Endeavor started working in the school. So right now he's going to be staying with him for a while, and then they'll switch off. So I see him. Maybe I see him once a week. Kegel sees him like 3 or 4 times a week, and the other 2 or 3 days he's with. How many days are there in the week? He's with them. He's not with his dad all week. He could be, but he's not. He's with him less now because he's with. And they said it's good for Frodo because he's interacting with them. And since his class only has 4 students in it, I thought that was perfect. Whatever. Didn't think anything was a big deal. Toshinori said, "Well, he's with Fat Gum right now, so you probably won't get to see him." So I said, "Okay, well, I'll just enjoy the rest of my day with you." So me and Toshinori, we had a nice breakfast. We had our coffee and stuff. Toshinori said, "Do you want to come to school with me, or do you want to wait till I come back?" And I said, "You know what? I'm going to wait for you to come back." And he says, "Okay, I'll see you later." Toshinori leaves, and I know he's not going to be back till like night. And I'm like, whatever, I'm willing to wait because remember, in that reality, time moves a lot faster. So I'm laying there, I'm falling asleep, and I see like the shutting guy. And I go, okay, why do I see? And I can't freaking move. And then I open my eyes, and Madara's standing there. And I'm just like, I'm in my hero, right? Like, didn't I like shift here? And I look around, it's the same house and everything. And Madara is like, he's like, "You got away from me last time, but I won't let it happen again." And then so I close my eyes again, and I do like this. And Toshinori is like shaking my shoulders. He's like, "Kind candy there, kind candy there. What's wrong? Are you awake? Kind candy dar." And I'm like, "Hi, Toshinori." He's like, "You okay? You were having like a nightmare." I'm like, "Yeah, I was." He goes, "What was your nightmare about?" I was like, "I don't remember." He goes, "You don't remember?" I'm like, "I never remember my dreams." I'm like, "Yeah, I think I need to go." He goes, "Oh, what about the rest of our night?" And I go, "No, I think I need to leave." I call my guy. My guy takes me back. And I just go, "Well, that was freaking scary." So then fast forwarded to a day later. So I skipped a day, went back to go see Frodo. I'm hanging out with Frodo the entire day and everything. And then I see like on his so on the TV, I got Frodo this little cute little TV for like babies. It has like it just shows baby stuff. So I don't have to worry about monitoring it or anything. So I have that in the background while I'm cooking, and I hear like, "You're not gonna get away this time." And I look because it sounds like Madara's voice. I turn around, and there's nothing on the TV. It's just like the little faces on there, and Frodo's like happy because he can talk now. He's sad. So the faces, I didn't think it was a good idea at first, but now that I realize what it was, me being like a teacher and everything, it's like, oh, I was all skeptical. Remember how afraid I was about letting Frodo watch that channel because I thought it was weird? I'm sorry if I keep looking around, I keep hearing weird noises. It is a new house. I gotta get used to it. So I keep, so, Frodo is repeating those words that they're saying on TV. And so, like, I'm like, okay. So I turn around and he's like, "I told you I wouldn't let you get away." And I just instantly turn around and Madara, he's like, his face is like on the TV, but it's not really his face, it's like his eyes. And I look away because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to look at you because, for one, obviously I'm having a mental break or something. So I'm just going to forget all about that. So nothing happens the rest of the day. Everything's fine. And I get Frodo and stuff ready for bed. And then Kago comes by, I give him his kiss on the cheek. it's cute because it's something we share with each other because it's like we don't spend that time together. That was from Frodo. So I call my guide and I leave back. And then so when I get ready to go back again, this is like 3 or 4 days later because I was busy packing and getting ready to go. So this is like closer to the week, like last Monday or closer to like Sunday of last week. I was, packing my things, getting my things ready to go, and I go, should I shift again? So I sit my guy down and I talk to him and I go, hey, do you think that I should go back to my hero right now? Do you think it's safe? He says, no, it's not safe or whatever. So I said, okay, well, am I going to run to Madara? He says, no. I go, okay, well, that's perfect. And then he says, yes. And I'm like, which one is it? And then, he does the whole circle thing. And I'm like, okay, so does that mean you don't know or not sure? And then he goes, no. I'm like, okay, whatever. Since you're like being useless right now, I'm just not going to talk to you. So then I write down my safe word, pineapple, on an envelope and I put it underneath my guide. So I put it underneath him and I'm like, okay, that's just for safety reasons. Then I go, you know what, screw it. I'm not shifting anywhere because he said he wasn't going to let me get away. I'm going to be smart because I'm supposed to go see Kegel. And I said, I can postpone me and Kegel till tomorrow. I can see him tomorrow. I'm literally sitting here talking to myself like this. Okay, I'm saying this to myself. Like, want my guy there. And I said, do you think that's a good idea? And he says, yes. I said, so hold off from seeing Kegel. He says, yes. Sorry. So, also, I'm trying to keep an eye on this because I am waiting for a delivery to come soon. I don't think this video is going to be that short, but at the same time, because I have a lot of explaining to do. So, but I will be keeping track of this. If I need to pause the video, you guys aren't even going to notice when it clicks back on, so don't even worry. Um, so yeah, so I'm like, what, screw it. I'm not going to go, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to look and see what I can find. So so I do my scrying or whatever. And basically I sit down and, I try to see. Like I use, I spell my energy and I'm like, just want to see, just want to see. And I'm like, and I say like I envision like the glow around me of light protecting me. Basically like God's light protecting me. I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna see what I want to see, and that's gonna be all. And so like I close my eyes and I'm able to see, and I noticed that Frodo is and Fagum are together. They're basically playing together, Fagum is pretending to be like a monster, and Frodo's like running away. Then he's hiding under stuff, and he's popping his head out, and then he's doing like this with his teeth, which I don't like. And Fagum is like, "Oh no!" and he's like, running after him, and then he catches him, and then he's like, and he gets close to his arm, and then he does like that, and that's it. And he gets close to his arm, and it's like kick like that, So it's really cute, but at the same time, I don't like that pretending to bite people's stuff. You guys know how I feel about that. So the only thing I wish he would stop him from doing that. But the only thing is, Frodo won't do it around me. He won't do it around other children. He'll only do it with Fat Gum. So if Fat Gum of you become infected, I freaking warned you. Anyway, so I'm watching them do there, and um, so I swear for the life of me that Fat Gum like looked up and like looked directly at me. But I'm like, whatever. There's no way he could have seen me. He didn't see me. Whatever. I'm like, that's so cute that they're playing together. That's what I'm thinking. I'm in this place. I'm seeing him, and I'm literally standing there. So I am standing there in this place watching them, and but I don't interfere. I don't do anything. I don't touch anybody. Touch anything. I come back and I say, okay, that's what I like to see. Frodo was laughing, happy, whatever. Um, so then I go back and I'm like, okay, I got to see, and I was like, should I see Kegel now? And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to see Kegel. So I close my eyes, I look at him. He's not doing anything. He's literally just sitting there, like sitting at the table, pushing stuff around on his plate. Like he actually looks really unhappy, but I'm just like, okay, well, that's boring. And I leave him, and then so I'm getting ready to come back, and I feel someone grab my hand and kind of like yank, and so I'm like pulling back, and I'm like, so I call my guide, and I'm like, come on, come get me. And that was my friend told me to say that one time. And he says, I'll be there. And I'm like, okay, where the heck is he coming? Where is he? Where are you? Like, hello, I called you. So then I have to say pineapple, and pineapple is the word that gets me snatched. When I get snatched, immediately I feel my stomach start to cramp. Like the cramping comes with it, like the aches. So then I come back and I'm like, what the hell was that? And I couldn't tell what it was that pulled me. I didn't think like that. Well, that was Madara, nothing. Doesn't even feel like a man's hand. It had felt like slimy. So I was just like, whatever. So then, I'm sitting there, whatever. Um, I'm just like, okay, I think I'm done looking. And then I was like, should I look one more place? And my guy says, yes, looks. He thinks I should look somewhere else. And I said, well, somewhere fun. Would that be okay? And he said, no. And I said, do you think I should look somewhere? He said, no. I said, should I listen to you? He said, yes. So I'm like, okay. Guys are funny that way. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm done with this for tonight. Went to sleep. 2 more days went by. Remember, right, guys, I'm getting ready to leave, okay? So this is the day before I'm getting ready to leave. Before I'm getting ready to leave out of the state because I moved out of state. And so I'm sitting there in my room and I'm like, okay, I think everything is ready. I think everything's ready to go. All I have to do is get up tomorrow, and get on my transportation to leave. Should I go? And I said it'd be much easier too for me to come back. It should be because I'm within this space, and there's something about being within an empty space and having no objects because there's less space around you. I don't know if you guys know how traveling the through works, traveling through dimension or whatever. Anyway, so I'm like, this feels great. It feels like a comfortable little space. So I get my pillow because I still have it, and I sit down there, and I'm like, and I, expel my energy out, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Kago because we, go to Kago. We're gonna have our date, whatever. So I get there, and Kago is like, hey, Cotton Candy doll, how you doing? I'm like, hey. He's like, come on, let's go on our date. So I'm walking around with him. He's like, are you hungry? And I was like, yeah. He's like, let's go to this fancy restaurant. So I wore this pretty dress. It had like a long, like, so it had a slit down the side. It was basically one of those long dresses. And you guys, I realize whenever I tell you guys what I'm wearing or what I have on, I kind of want to have you guys get an image in your head of what I actually have on. So I have this pretty blue dress, okay? And I had on these heels that were too high for me to even walk in. I don't even know where I got them. And, I wore my hair down. And so I didn't want to wear my hair in a bun or anything like that. I thought about it. It probably would have been better. But I decided not to do that. Too smart. Anyway, we get out, we go inside of this fancy restaurant, and I'm sitting there with Kago, and we're having our lunch, our meal, whatever together. And the waiter comes over. He's like, "You guys, can I start you guys off with some nice wine?" And Kago goes, "We already know we want. I want a steak. She wants medium rare. She's already told me what she wanted." So I thought, great. He's getting exactly what I was gonna order anyway. That probably some asparagus, some wine, maybe some potatoes, like, and I think they had like a lemon garnish, but they had it for something else. But I asked for hot water with lemon specifically, and I'll tell you guys why. Because I felt my mind like closing in. Like hot water lemon is a great way. Like that's a great way to concentrate and make everything so. Like that makes you more focused. So I figured, I almost feel like I'm slipping away from this place, and I don't want to do that because that can happen sometimes. So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for it to get there, and it doesn't arrive. So I go, oh, well, my water isn't here. And he goes, well, you just go ask him. He's right over there. Just go ask him really quick and then come back. So I run over there and I'm like, hey. And then he goes behind the doors and I come back there and I'm like, hey. And he turned around and he's like, oh, I have your lemon water right here. Isn't this what you asked for? He hands it to me. And I look up at him and it's Madara, dressed up in a freaking tie and suit. And he goes, hey, so I pretend not to notice. I go, oh, thank you so much for the drink. He goes, kind of, yeah. I go, oh, you must have heard him. I was like, you must have heard my man call me that. Yeah, he's over there. And I walk over there really quick and sit down. So then I'm over there, and for somehow my steak and everything has already gotten there because I guess Madara, I don't know, he's a fantastic like waiter. He stole somebody else's steak, like the same kind, and just got it to us like pronto. So, but for some reason, I'm the only one who really has my meal. He's missing something. So he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and start on like my salad or whatever. So he's eating salad and he's still waiting for his steak and it hasn't arrived. And he goes, boy, this yours look good. I'm like, do you want a bite? So I do like this, and and I put it over the table and I feed it to him, and he takes a huge bite out of it. Quick pause. I know this is a long story. Okay, all right. I know this is really long, but it's really important. Okay, so listen to this whole story. So I give him this steak and he goes, it's delicious. So then the waiter comes over and he like drops Keigo's food in front of him and goes, here's your food. And I like look away from Keigo and I'm like this and I'm like, yeah, Keigo, eat your food. And he looks at me and then he looks at him. He's like, what's going on? So then Madara walks off or whatever. He's walking away and he has like, which for the life of me, I'm actually kind of like shaking because I'm like freaked out. I'm kind of scared because he can kill me instantly. He can kill Keigo instantly. Keigo don't know, like you would get murked by this guy. I'm sorry. Um, we need to be careful. I don't. Obviously, he's mentally disturbed, and I don't know which version of him this is. This is not right. So I'm eating my steak, and Keigo goes, "So, Captain Canada, what's going on with you?" And I'm like, "Nothing." He goes, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "I know I've been a little distant, but I'm moving, and I'm just really exhausting." He's like, "Sweetheart, do you want some help?" I'm like, "No, I don't want any help." Then he puts his hand on mine. I put my hands on his. We're smiling at each other. Then he takes his hands away. He's like, "Anything new happened?" I go, no. He's like, have you been up to anything? I go, no. He goes, you haven't been wandering to other places, have you? I go, why would I go somewhere else besides here? He says, well, you can go other places without wandering. I go, what the heck is he talking about? You know. So then he like takes his hand away and he's like, so then he picks up my plate and he does like this. He goes, well, he did that to mine, so I'm gonna do that to yours. Because I feel like you guys have a connection. And I'm like, Keigo, we did not. I was like, that's a freaking waiter. I don't have a connection with him. He goes, I feel like that's very, you just seem very like you're avoiding him. And I was like, I'm not avoiding him. He goes, well, then call him over and say hi. Say hi, ask how his day was going, how he's doing and stuff. I'm like, why would I do that when I'm with you? You're my priority right now. I'm basically trying to get myself, I am trying my hardest to get myself riled up so that I can be angry and mad. It's so not happening. Like literally, fear is creeping in through my fingers, my legs, my toes. I'm just like shaking, and I'm saying all this in a shaky voice. And he goes, "Cutting Canada." He goes, "Okay, whatever." So then he's like, "It's time to go." So I get up and I'm like walking out, and I'm looking behind me, and Madara comes to like the middle aisle. He's watching me leave with him, and he's like balling his fist, and then he like punches the table. And I just hurry up and walk out behind Kegel. So there's a big smash as I'm leaving out of the out of the restaurant with Keiko. And I'm like, Keiko, can we fly? So then he's like, whatever you want, cotton candy doll. And he snatches me and like we fly up there. But he's holding me. So he's flying with me, but he's squeezing me very tightly. And I'm like, Keiko, you're too squeezing me too tight. He's like, look at that look on your face. And I'm like, what? He's like, you're struggling a lot right now. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Can you let go a little bit? He goes, no, I like seeing your face twisted like that. I said, you sound like a demented, um, well, you sound like a demented pervert. Like, who do you sound like? Oh, you sound like Toshinori right now. And he's like, he just starts laughing. So then he's like, well, I figured we could stop by and see Frodo. He's like, we'll fact him again. I go, okay, well, he's never with Endeavor anymore. What happened to that? What happened to Endo? He's like, he's with him all the time. So he flies down. We go over to, I know it's super long. How long have I been talking? Oh, for 24 minutes. It's not that bad, right? You guys still with me? Okay, you still understand what's happening? All right, so Kegel has me right now. We are flying. Okay, we're flying. So we get down to where Fat Gum's house is, and I'm surprised to see like freaking waterfalls and crap. Like, and so I come outside. He's playing in the water with Frodo. He has like this little pond, and it's so weird because there's fish in there. It's little, it's clear, but you got this little baby in here splashing around in the pond with you, with little swimmers or whatever. It wasn't. I keep joking around saying little swimmer. They're basically. It's so weird. They're diapers that like float or something. They're like floaty up diapers. I don't freaking understand it because how would you even be able to stand in the water with those? But then they have weights on them. Whatever. You know, another world, another place, another product, another diaper. You know, whatever. So Frodo has that on. And I'm just like, they're not worried about him accidentally going out here while he's playing, you know, and then, you know, releasing fumes into the air or whatever. So I'm just like, whatever. He's playing with him out here. I'm not worried about it. So then, you know, he's doing like this with Frodo in the water. Frodo's like jumping up and down. And then he like does this. And then, so then Hawks catches him and he's like, da. And I'm just like, okay, this is like a weird. This place is weird. I'm sorry. Back up. Your place is freaking weird. Your house is weird. And I wouldn't come to your house because it's kind of creepy. So he's like, "You want to get in the water with us?" And I'm like, "No." And Keiko's like, "Why not? I'm getting in." He's like, "Come on." And he removes his shirt and he only has on his slacks. And then he's like, "I'm just going to get in with these on." And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, I guess I'll get in my freaking dress because I'm not going to remove any clothing to get in there with you, fat gum." So I go in there with my clothes on and we're in there. So how weird is this picture, okay? Me in a freaking beautiful dress that with a long slit down the middle, okay? And Kego is in there with some freaking pants on. I took off my heels. I took them off, okay? I'm in the water playing and splashing. And Fat Gum comes over and he's like, "Hi Canada." He's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing good." He's like, "Welcome, welcome to my home." And he's all happy and cheery, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And he starts laughing and he's like he's like, "Frodo missed you." I'm like, "Yeah, Frodo does miss me a lot, but I come and see him every week, so it's okay." And he goes, "He wanted to see you the other day, so we thought it'd be fun looking on you." And he starts laughing. And I'm like, "Looking on me?" He goes, "Yeah." He's like, and I'm just like, "What the hell?" "What do you mean looking on me?" I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "You know how you travel to those other places." He said, "Yeah, figured out." Because I saw you, so I figured do the same. Oh, and I heard somebody call you too. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." So I'm just, obviously, whenever I have a connection like that, I have to build on that connection. So I connected you guys so that you're connected to whoever it was. He goes, "I figure it will be Toshinori or Kegel or someone." So, guys, I go, "So you connected me to them?" He goes, "Well, yeah. Technically, the connection was through Frodo. So, yeah, we're connected." Then he started laughing. I'm just like, "What the heck are you talking about?" And Kegel was like, "All you have to do is say that, you know, you've been looking in these other places. I asked you, but you blatantly lied to me and said you weren't. And then now you're acting weird around that guy. Who's that guy? I heard there was some guy last time that kept bothering you. Is it him? Is he the one doing it?" And I said, "No, it's not him. He looks weak. Look at him." And Kegel was like, "He looked pretty strong to me. He looked incredibly strong." And to be honest, he looked huge. Okay, Madara is freaking huge. Huge freaking muscles, like bulging through his shirt, everything. Like, big. Okay, big like Toshinori, but he's like Toshinori, not built like Toshinori, but tall. Just really tall and just really bulky. So I'm just like, okay, well, you know, I was like, and Gego was like, "Well, you know what?" And I'm like, "I just wanted to see something." He goes, "I told you to stop trying to see. What do you need to see? Like, there's nothing here to see. Everything's the same when you leave." I'm like, "I missed Frodo." And he's like, "That's no excuse. You said you looked at, he said, you know, I know you looked up on me and I know you looked upon Touchinari. I know for sure you looked upon him." I said, "Actually, I didn't look upon him. I looked on you and you were freaking pushing food around on your plate. That's all." And he goes, oh, you saw that? I'm like, yeah. I go, what's wrong with you? Are you depressed? And he's like, stop it, cotton candy now. I'm like, whatever. I said, come on, let's leave. We just came to see Frodo. Frodo, mommy loves you so much. Mommy loves you. You know, I give him kisses and everything. And Keiko is like, well, until you tell me what I want to know, I don't want to really be around you, cotton candy, because you need to be completely honest with me. Like, be transparent. Don't be that person that, you know, you neglected me to spend time with some other guy. And now he's jealous because you can't be with him. I'm like, that's not true. I don't even know him, but I'm lying. He said, when you stop lying to me, then I'll listen to you. I said, fine. So I was angry. I was angry. I started storming off. I was just like, but who do I storm off to? Keiko's house? And I can't go to Toshinori. He's not home. I could sneak into his window, but what the heck is the point of that? So I said, fine, I might as well just go back home. I'm going to go home. I'm going to call my guy, and my guy's going to bring me home. Everything will be fine. I'll just come back later. We'll sort it out. You know, couples, people that are together, they argue, they fight sometimes. I just need to make him feel like he's still important to me because apparently he's so fucking jealous for, I mean, oops, excuse my language, so jealous for no reason. So then, what's going to Ah, okay, gotcha. Okay. My delivery will be here. It's not going to be here just yet. I told you guys I was keeping an eye on that, right? So I'm like, so I'm angry. I'm just like, whatever, you know. And so I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go home. I tried to call my guy. My guy didn't come. I tried to call him again. He didn't come. So then I was like, okay, well, I didn't write the, envelope with my safe word. I figured he would just come get me from my hero because that's not usually a big deal. So I said, screw it. I'll just leave on my own. So I just closed my eyes. I did my little triangle thing, and what do you know? I'm falling into like darkness. So I'm falling into darkness, and how do I explain to you guys? Imagine, imagine your head spinning. You're really dizzy, okay? You don't really. It's not really nauseousness. It's just too much of something. Anxiety. Imagine all those things, okay? But you feel like you're falling, okay? And the world is literally spinning, and it's like that's what I felt. And so, but then I felt like someone catch me. And I opened my eyes, and Potter was like holding me, and he's like, I told you I wouldn't let you get away that time. So I started fighting him. I tried to, hit him like this. That absolutely did nothing. Um, I tried kicking my feet. He like threw me over his shoulder. He was like carrying me, and I couldn't get out. I was trying to like pull away from him, and he said, "Okay." He said, "You have two choices: dine with me, or they die." And he did this, and I saw Toshinori, and I saw Keigo, and I said, "Well, I can meet them in another reality or whatever." And he's like, "There's a kid too." And I said, "No, you don't freaking mess with my kid." He says, "Okay, well then, come on, let's go have dinner." So I stopped struggling. He carries me to this place. It looks just like the other diner we were at. We were sitting down. He's like, "I want one piece of steak, medium rare." And the waiter is this guy with blonde hair. And he comes back over with his long hair like this. And so, like, he's giving us our plate. Oh my gosh, guys, this is freaking crazy. He tells him we're going to share a glass of wine together. So that way, I can get an indirect kiss without being, as threatening. And I'm like, what do you want? Before you tried to murk me, like you would have, I said, you tried to kill me last time. Do you remember that? Do you remember trying to kill me? He says, I remember all of it. And then I remembered who you were. And I said, who are you? Who am I? He said, he said, you're my Hokage. Guys, if I wasn't if I wasn't cringing or dying of fear, I would have probably burst out laughing. Like I'm not even joking. Like I'm just like I just felt my face go so hot. And he's like, "Do you want some water?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want any water. I want to go home." He said, "Okay, we'll go home then and see what happens when you go back to that place with those people." So I'm just like, "Okay, well, I can't, obviously I can't, go." Fine, so I do whatever he wants, he cuts the steak, and then when he cuts it, he gets ready to give me. I said, "I don't know. His long ass hair was in our food, and you guys know." And then he's like, "Was your hair in our food?" And the guy goes, "No, my hair wasn't in there." So then Madara's like getting ready to do something. I'm like, "Please don't hurt him, please." I said, "Can you bring us another steak, and can you please put your hair back in a ponytail?" And he smiles, He kind of winces like this. He has pretty green eyes, guys. Beautiful, beautiful green eyes, long hair, pretty long hair, silky. He does like this basically, and like throws it behind him like that, like whatever. So he leaves. He goes to the back. He just never comes back. I think he probably walked out because I heard him like yelling, and then he was out the door. So we didn't get another steak. He says, "At least we have the wine." So he's like, "You drink out of it first." So I took a sip, and when I said took a sip, um, I like looked around and I'm like, "Where are we?" So I'm like, so he's like, "Come on, guys, we got to go on a mission." And I'm dressed up in like ninja clothes, like black. And I touched the top of my head, and there's obviously a mask up there. I said, "Okay, so if I had to guess, this is a Naruto series. It's Anbu Black Ops." And I can't see the guy bleeding. I can't see his face. He's just talking. "Okay, team, we're gonna go in. We're gonna take care of them. We're gonna do this, and then we'll take them down. Then we're gonna steal the scroll from out of there. It's in the chest, and blah blah blah." I hear him talking whatever, and I hear his voice, and I'm like, "Okay." So I said, "This is Shikamaru, except if he had long hair, right? Shikamaru with long hair, I don't know." So I'm followed we're all running, with our hands behind us, how Naruto run, to our location, and it's kind of it's so surreal, but it's so cool because I can feel the wind hitting my face, and I'm jumping over these things, like these logs, and I'm jumping through the trees, and everything's becoming more colorful. But the trees are also scratching my arms and my face and my legs as I'm going through. Like, not my legs so much because they're kind of covered, but my face and arms, yeah, sort of got scratched up. I still have bruises from that. So we went through. This is a long. I know, guys. I know it's a long video. What happened? But I'm like, Shikamaru, and he turns around and is Madara. So then he uses his genjutsu, and I'm like, okay, and everything's all white. So I'm walking around this white space, guys. I'm like, "Hello." So then I'm like, fine. I call my guide again. The guy does not come. I'm like, great. He's not gonna come because I didn't write my safe word and place it under him. Okay. All I did was basically just shift there. I didn't think I was gonna have an issue, but obviously I do now. So obviously I'm in some kind of mind thing. And then when all of the white faded away, I was back in this place again, following him to this mission. And he was like, "We're gonna do this. We're gonna assassinate these people. We're gonna take this scroll out of the chest." Basically repeating all the same stuff again. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I get out of this? What do I do? The only way to break a genjutsu is through using chakra, right? So I have chakra. We all have it. That's basically the same thing I use when I shift. So I just did it, and when I did that, I instantly called my guide. My guide picked me up, brought me back there. And then when that happened, I picked up my guide and I said, "What the heck? Why didn't you come and get me when I called?" There was no answer. I said, "Okay, whatever. I guess I can't depend on you then, unless I write your name on an envelope." Like, I don't know. Like, I shouldn't have to do that to get your attention. But now my big problem is Madara. What do I do about him? Like, I'm not gonna let him hurt my family. I know he can murder them in a second. I'll do what I have to do. I'll keep lying to Keigo. Then when I went back again, I waited until earlier this week, and that was after I got here. So I have been shifting the entire time, just have not been doing a video. I'm so sorry, I just didn't have the time. I've shifted back there again to have my date with Toshinori. And Toshinori was like, "You seem off." Me and Kayla talked about it. He knows that. I know you're dealing with somebody else. I hope it's not the same one that I threatened you with last time, because my threats will always go through. And I said, you're not going to follow through because it's not the same person and it's my own personal problem that I'm dealing with. And he's like, Fagum told me that he saw you. And thinking Fagum thinks that crap is funny. He kept laughing. I don't know what him and Frodo were looking at me do, but I don't feel comfortable about that, you know, at all. So, but I will let him keep playing, I will let him continue to spend time with Frodo since Frodo likes him. So, and obviously he cares about protecting my child, and that's all that matters. But that's what's been going on. Um, I just wanted to let you guys know what happened. I am waiting on a package to get here, which will be here soon. So I have to actually end the video. Tell me in the comments what you guys think I should do. Tell me what your opinion is. So yeah, Toshinori is kind of furious. Oh, I know you've been messing with someone else, blah blah blah. Ego's still mad at me. Eventually I'll get to the truth, but I'll tell them the truth after I figured out what I'm gonna do about my situation. So yeah, I would love to know what I can do. You guys write in the comments what you think. Um, any advice is good advice. I think it's really just the stress from me moving and also him like lurking somewhere in the dark. Like I didn't even know he was still out there. Like where you come from, dude? Like go home. Like seriously. I have enough on my plate to deal with already. So anyway, I missed you guys. I'm so happy to see all of you. Hello. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better if you were doing badly. I was kind of in a low state, but now I'm feeling much better. And it's time to start out with my new life. And I'll continue to, keep you guys in touch. I'll try and do more videos as often as I can, but I'll try and do them when I can do them. Anyway, everyone, if you like this video, don't forget to give this video a like. If you hated it, you know what to do. Also, don't forget to ring the bell. That way you're notified when other videos like this one become available. Ding! And I'll see you guys next time in my next video. Thank y'all for watching. Bye. Wait, I could. Okay. Bye, everyone. See you next time.